Let's see who shows up today. I might have to shut that door. Wind's blowing pretty good. Let's see where we got here. I'm gonna try and live stream for a little while and just stay on the grind, trying to get my hours pushed up. You know, I'm trying to get to like the bottom tier of for YouTube, which is 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. And I've got subscribers. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. But now I guess I just need people to hang out with me for a little longer. So, you know, we're gonna chat. You guys tell me what's going on with you, and you know, I'll share, you know, stories about my life, and where you can get to know me a little better and what's coming up in the future. I'll take suggestions from you guys, like any kind of content you want to see, criticism on any of my videos, how I can get better and make better content for you. You can definitely tell me, you know, I guess I should turn some lights on. What do you think? It's kind of dark in here. Let's get some light going in here. Let's see if that's a little bit better, and you can tell me how the sound is. And you know, I guess I gotta like my own video. What do you think? I'll put some likes in there. I'll say hi from my other account so I can keep track of it. If you are here just to tell me I'm ugly, I'm here for it. Just put it in the comments, and I'll laugh with you. You could joke on me, or you know, I'm trying a little bit different. I got more I got more views whenever I was streaming vertically, but I noticed that, you know, I was definitely getting more viewers, but I was also getting more weird comments from people, and so I decided I would go back to, you know, the horizontal format. One reason is because, like, I found, and it was very interesting to me, that a lot of my viewers watch my content on a TV, which is weird to me. I watch everything on my phone. So, Kuya Dave Adventures. Hey, Kuya Dave. Glad you stopped by. What's going on with you today? You know, I was able to get out earlier and actually walk around a little bit. I think it's getting close to the time where that's not going to be a possibility again. But this morning there wasn't any rain, and I may try and like edit that video into something. I took some video of me walking around this morning, but it was a little bit windy, and I forgot to put on my wireless mic before I went out, so I don't think the sound quality is the best. I'll have to check it out. Kuya Dave says, honestly, it's my first time in the live. Well, welcome. Like, I appreciate you stopping by. I'm still getting used to doing lives. It's, you know, it can be challenging, you know, talking to people when, you know, they're not actually in the room. But no matter how it comes across, like, you know, I'm very interested in in what you got going on, and you know what you have to say about my channel, or how I'm doing, or what I can do better. Uh, Kuya Dave says, "When did you start loading?" Loading. When I start, I don't understand. Kuya Dave says, "I'm still growing myself." Yeah, and if I'm, I have I have my subscriptions as public. So when you get a chance, look at your channel and make sure that I'm subscribed to you, because like everybody that subscribes to my channel, I go through and look, and if they have a channel, then I subscribe to their channel. So excuse me, hold on. So when you get a chance, take a look at your channel, and if you don't see me there as a subscriber, then comment on one of my videos to remind me, and I'll if I'm not subscribed already, I'll definitely go subscribe and watch a video all the way through to get your watch hours up, and like your video and comment, everything that I can do, to push your content out there for more people to see. I think it's really important, especially for small YouTube creators to support each other. Kuya Dave said, "Where are you in the Philippines?" I am in Tagaytay, and let's see. Let me pick this up. We'll go over here. Let me switch the view around here. So this is looking out my window. It's it's, of course, it's very, very overcast today. But that is my view right now. It's let me switch this back around. Wait, all right, switch this back. There we go. So I've and Dave, since you're the only one here right now, or the only one talking to me right now, let me know if you can hear like that rattling of the door. The wind's blowing, and sometimes that door rattles, and I want to know if it's like an annoying sound that maybe I should shut that door and to get rid of that sound. But I've got the door open because it's a nice cool day, and like I enjoy the fresh air. But if it's clattering, we don't want that. Kui Dave said, "You on phone or computer?" And you said, "No, it's Crystal." That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm filming on my iPhone. It's iPhone 16 Pro. My wireless mic it's the Lark, Lark M2, and I think it does a really good job. And as far as my gimbal goes, it's the Insta 360 Flow 2. Insta 360 Flow 2 gimbal, and I've got the attachment for it for face recognition and following. That's how I can filming by myself. I can get up and be hands free, and it follows me around, and it's my little robot cameraman buddy. So that's the setup that I'm streaming with right now. Like eventually I want to be able to Bluetooth to like a laptop, so that I can use a service like StreamYard to add graphics and pop-ups and all the fancy bells and whistles. But right now, budget, you know, it's, you only have so much that you can spend. And right now, the laptop that I want isn't in the budget. Um, it's filming like StreamYard on a computer. Yeah, no, I'm not on StreamYard right now. Eventually in the future, I'm gonna have StreamYard and learn how to do, more things to make live streaming more professional. I mean, I'm still learning, so I've definitely spent time like learning more about editing video and how to write video and make thumbnails and all of these things, trying to improve on each one. And uh and down the line, like I said, when I get the budget for, because I'm not the type to buy something just to have something. you know um, I have in mind what type of laptop I want, and you know um, I'll save up for that particular laptop. And it's going to be, it's going to be a MacBook, because um, and I'm, normally not, I'm not a huge Apple fan, but you know uh, I got converted because of the iPhone. It's got better video, and so many YouTubers use, you know iPhone or MacBook, especially for editing. Like, Apple is just good in the video editing space, and I'm frozen up. Hold on, let me see what's going on here. Let's see if I can. All right, there we go. I think I'm back up. All right, there we go. I think I'm back up. Let me catch up to where we're at. If you can find a way to switch to the other chat style, it's better in the algorithm. Video stop, just sound. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it does that. Like, you can tell me like how the video quality is now. I just switched like midstream from 1080 to 720 to maybe help it stream a little bit better. But I don't know how much image quality I gave up. Like, if I get close, you know, is it still like a good clear picture? Or because if I can stream in 720 and not have any hiccups, then like I'll do that. Um, you know, I'm the way I look. A little blurriness probably will be a good thing. Nobody wants a close up. Um, let's see. Well, waiting to see if Kuya Dave catches up with me. Let's see. Pick is good. Gary. Hey, Gary. Glad you showed up. Yeah, I'm just here chit chatting about, my journey so far, YouTube, and like what I've learned, what I'm trying to learn, what my plans are for the future with, live streaming. I definitely want to start at least start learning, how to make, a better quality live stream experience, and what I'll have to save up for to make that happen. But I'm glad you told me that the picture looks good, because I was was wondering, switching from 1080p to 720p, like, you know, what the difference in quality. And I'll watch this back later to to get an idea for myself if I can tell the difference. And let's see. Gary said I was about to catch up on yesterday's, but here you are. Yeah. Well, and see yesterday's live stream, last night's live stream. Yeah, you should watch it. It was really weird. It was the first time that I streamed like in vertical, and I was definitely getting more views and more people coming in and commenting, because I think like those live streams, show up also on like the shorts feeds. So people will, come in and watch, and they're probably good for watch hours. But the thing is, like I had, and, this is not a brag, but I had, these girls coming in, saying crazy stuff. Like you've probably watched, like Filipinas that are live streaming, and they get all these guys like, hey sexy mama and all this stuff. Well, I was getting the same thing except from girls. And it was, like I really didn't know how to respond to that. Is like, all right. And so, and then also like I noticed when I was looking in my analytics that it showed like a lot of my viewers like watched my channel on TV. Like it shows, the percentage of people that watch your content on a TV or mobile device or computer. And yeah, the majority of my viewers were watching on TV. So I figured, the horizontal format would be better for them. Like, yeah, I can probably get more viewers the other way, but I'm more interested in, making the experience as good as possible for like my loyal viewers, the ones that are there, watching my content now. Like I always want to find more guys like you guys, that have been here from the beginning. Kuya Dave, you back? Yeah, I'm back. And I switched the video resolution to see if that helped, and apparently it did. And I see that you're back too. I appreciate you sticking with me, Kuya, while I worked out my technical difficulties. Filipina fan Leia says, "I feel you, Ray." Yeah, I mean it was like if you watch any of the live stream from last night, whenever I made the live stream to celebrate getting to 500 subscribers, it's a big deal to me. And like I said last night, I mean the fact that 500 people that I don't know, you know, enjoyed my content enough to subscribe and watch my videos, want to see more content that I make, like it's very, very special to me. It like I don't take it lightly. Like I always say, time is valuable. It's like the most valuable thing in the world is time. And for somebody to choose to spend time with me, for me that's a big deal. And like I can't say enough how much you guys mean to me, and how much I genuinely care about each and every one of you. And I love hearing, I know that the YouTube channel is supposed to be about me and what I'm doing, but one of the main reasons I'm doing this is, to connect to other people and to make genuine relationships. And like, I love everything I hear about you guys when you tell me what's going on in your life, and it's very exciting for me. Um, uh, Gary Walker says I'll check it out later. I appreciate that, buddy. And you know, just hey, watch times are great and all that, but I know that, especially in my live streams, when there's not a lot of viewers there, like it's hard for me to just start talking to the void, for someone to watch later. Like if there's no one there to talk to, sometimes I'm kind of quiet, and so I wouldn't blame you if you skipped around in the video and found parts that were interesting and just watch those. Like you don't have to watch just to boost my hours. Like I want you to at least be a little bit entertained. Um, let's see. Kuya Day said, okay, that answers my question. I just started loading videos in February, I think. I just hit 500. Congratulations, Dave. Roll the hearts, like and subscribe. Do you have moderators? Moderators. I have made some moderators on this channel, and one of them is like I have a secondary YouTube account that I don't use for any type of content. I just use it to watch videos, and like YouTube don't listen. Shh. Like I'll take my second account and channels that I watch, like I'll watch them again on my other account to boost their watch out. And I don't actually watch it. Like I'll start the video running with the sound off, and put it over there charging, and just let the video run through, to help people out. Like I said, one of the most important things to me is being supportive of other content creators, especially those that are supportive to you. Like I said, time is important, and if someone gives me their time, like I'm gonna give my time back times two. Let's see. Gary Walker says, "Congrats, Dave. Check your channel out." Absolutely, yeah. Oh, Simply Cherry says hello. Hey, Simply Cherry, I know I'm subscribed to your channel. And yeah, like anybody, especially small creators that want to come on here and give a shout out to their channel. Like I'll be more than happy to check it out, and you're gonna get some kind of support from me. Uh, and if I don't know if she's still here, but you guys that haven't checked out Leia's channel, Leia's wait, I always it's family life with Leia. No, family. See, I think it used to be Leia's Family Adventures, and then it's okay. It's Philippine Family Life with Leia. So you guys definitely go check that out. Like I've been watching Leia for so long. Like I said, and Leia, if you're still here, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that your channel used to be um, Filipina Family Life with Leia, or no, it used to be uh, Leia's Family Adventures. I think is what it originally was. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're still here, Leia. And I remember when I made a video, I made a video about um, like when I first came across YouTube content about the Philippines and how it, deeply affected my life. And one of the channels that I shouted out was Leia's channel. And if you watch the video, you can tell like the audio, like it, uh, it's like a smooth audio. And then I get to where Leia's channel comes up, and then the audio changes because I did a voiceover, because the first time when I went through and recorded it, I said Leia's Family Adventures for her channel, and then realized I had to go back and correct it so that it was like the updated name. Let's say, Dave said, if you need or want, I'd love to help all I can. Man, I appreciate that. And, you know, um, you could be a mod. Yeah, no, you know, I appreciate that. And maybe sometime in the future, like you know, I'll definitely, I'll definitely, put you as a moderator. Right now, like my channel is so small, and like I said, I start I I might need a moderator if I ever do like a vertical stream again, because those girls be crazy. But when I'm doing like my horizontal format, I mostly just get people that are actually subscribed to my channel. And may not be the best for getting new subscribers, but right now I'm more interested in, you know, the subscribers I already have and connecting more with them and spending more time with them. So um, Gary says hi to Cherry. Cherry says hi to Gary. Yeah, you guys talk to each other. If you get bored, just talk. And Dave says I help push your channel to other channels. And I appreciate that. Most are much bigger, over 10,000. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, and maybe I'll get there one day, maybe not. And at the end of the day, like it's not a super big deal to me. Like for me, like I'm just happy making videos. It keeps me out the streets, you know. It gives me like a little hobby I can do that I enjoy learning about. I get excited when I learn something new, and put it into a video, and in at least in my opinion makes it better. Um, like I always like, you know, getting better and better at doing something, and then for the second reason, like I said, connecting with awesome people. Like, you know, I I'd like to think that, everybody is awesome in their own way, and like it's a kick for me to get to find out, what is your particular brand of awesomeness. All right, Ford Bracken, originally from New Orleans. Who that? Who that? Ford. I knew I'd get a Saints fan up in here. Um, nice hat. Yeah. No. Let's. I have to turn the follow off so I can get up here and show you. Yeah, I'm diehard Ford. Like it's not just the hat. Gary Walker says Neil Ford. Hey, oh, did I miss Neil come in? Neil, who dat Ray? NOLA native here. Hey Neil, man, I appreciate you stopping by. That's awesome. And sorry I missed you when you came in. Dave says, well, you're doing great. Keep it up. Thanks, Dave. Man, you know, I know it's something you just that people think you just say, but I genuinely mean. Like I appreciate everybody that gives encouragement and support. Says supportive thing. Even if they say, if they criticize, but you can tell that they're criticizing with the intent that you do better. And I don't mind that, because like people don't just do that if they don't care about me. And that's a big deal. Like, you don't take stuff like that for granted when someone, goes out of their way to give you encouragement, takes the time to take their phone or whatever they're using to type out a message, like that means something. And like, I appreciate y'all. uh let's see. Eden's Tokyo Life, konnichiwa from Tokyo. Eden, did I say that right? Konnichiwa from Tokyo. And I've it's been a while, but I used to try and learn how to say hello and thank you in as many languages as possible. So um, arigato, Eden, for you know stopping by and saying konnichiwa. Dave said maybe we could do a collaboration when I get back to Cebu in September. Yeah, I'm not sure how close to Cebu I'll get. Probably around September. Probably about September. I know at least September I'll be going down to Iloilo and Rojas City and Aklan, and then I'll go over to Bacolod, and I'm gonna meet different YouTubers that I follow, and at each of those places. Um, I don't know if I'll have the resources on that trip to make a run to Cebu, but there will definitely be a trip after that that'll probably be like Cebu and Dumaguete, and meet other YouTube vloggers in those areas. Um, so I'm gonna make a you know whirlwind meet and greet tour, as often as I can, and because that's, to me, that's what this is about, is building a community, making friends, and enjoying life here in the Philippines. And you know, it's the people that make it great. Let's see what we got here. And let's see. Oh, Neil said you have two Saints fans, brah. Yeah, well, that's three in one place. Well, let's, like, if we get you guys try and pull some more Saints fans in here, because if we get like six, at least six, then a crawfish boil about to break out. Is all I'm saying. I mean, we're gonna have to get the little baby ears of corn, sack of crawfish, some baby red potatoes, a little small potatoes. I like to put mushrooms and artichoke and whole garlic. Like, I'd throw everything in a crawfish boil, because that crawfish boil just makes everything taste better. But man, I love a good crawfish boil. You know, I mean, of course, the sausage, and anyway, making me hungry. That's the one thing I'm definitely gonna always miss over here is the lack of fresh crawfish. And like, I would have a big crawfish boil, and then like the next day, and my fingers would be sore from just peeling crawfish until I had a whole mess of them. And then I take all the crawfish heads and the shells, put them in a pot, put some water in there, and slow simmer them to make a crawfish stock. And then probably the day after that, then I'd make a big etouffee, with like a big crawfish etouffee. Man, that's good stuff, especially with fresh crawfish from a crawfish boil. Let's see. Where we're at. Ford says, "Okay, you have me beat though. I've been a, I have been a Saints fan since '67. Well, you've definitely got me beat there because you know I was born in '69, so '69. Uh, but yeah, you know, I've definitely been with them, you know, through the paper bag days, and it wasn't fun, but you know, and we're in a down spot now. I ain't gonna lie, but like I'm hoping this year, we're getting, finally getting younger as a team, and I hope that I see something from some of the young rookies we got. Hey, Kool-Aid, I want to see some Kool-Aid McKinstry doing something special. Since we lost Lattimore, and I want to, you know, uh, I want to see some like I know the quarterback's the big thing, and hopefully one of the two quarterbacks, either Rattler or Shuck, will work out. That'll be awesome. If not, you know, then we finish terrible and maybe find our guy next year. Whatever it is, like to me, this year really the record doesn't count, doesn't matter. Like I just want to see like some flashes from some of the rookies and younger players to get excited about for the future. Like it'd be nice if we had that Washington Commanders year where, you know, get some new guys in there and then boom, everything turns around, makes the playoffs, and they're looking good for the future. I'd love to see that for the Saints, but anyway, do. Let's see where we got. Where are we at? Um, where are we at? We're getting a lot of comments here. Let me go back. Do. Okay, I mean, Neil says Uptown. Ford says, "Hey, Neil and Gary. Hey guys, and you have me beat Ford. That's a long time. Yeah, Ford's the OG Saints fan up in here." Gary says, "Okay. Talk some about Archie's days at quarterback. There you three who dats." Um, yeah, I don't really remember a lot about when Archie was the quarterback. I used to have like as an old school Saints hat that Archie signed, and I was married to a woman in Canada, and just long story short, um, yeah, she got rid of it. I don't know where it went. I went to the U.S. and then came back to get my stuff, and like my stuff was gone. I had a signed Ricky Williams jersey, and anyway, yeah. Enough about that. Ford says, "I love me some Archie, but the poor guy was running for his life most of the time." Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a good scene. Wasn't a good scene back in the early days. uh, yeah, I think with the Saints, I want to say they started their franchise in '69, wasn't it, or was it '68? I know they weren't a franchise in '67. Uh, were they? No, I'm pretty sure it was six since '67. Where was you can tell me Ford? Was it '67 when they became a franchise? I thought it was '68 or '69. Anyway, uh, Dave said I'll be hitting several islands. Yeah, I mean that's that's my goal. I mean I love Tagaytay, and if any of you guys are thinking about settling in the Philippines, like I can't recommend Tagaytay enough. It's I believe it's a good place to get acclimated. The weather is nice. There's all of these YouTube channels you watch are encouraging you to buy, moisture wicking shirts and moisture wicking shorts because you're going to be sweating, not into Gaitai. So, and it's, like I said, it's quiet, for the majority of the time. I when I went for a walk this morning, I saw a lot, not a lot, but, more people than usual because it's Friday and, people come in for the weekend to enjoy being here. And they're probably coming here this weekend to escape all the flooding everywhere else. Cause, to Gaitai, we're up on a mountain. We don't get flooding. Like, water runs downhill. You guys know that. Might be a little puddle here and there, but that's it. And I'm rambling about the weather. Let's see. Ford, Bracklin, no protection. Yeah, Archie had no protection back in those days. Um, Dave said I'll be here probably about a year. In Cebu, Dave, or in the Philippines in general? Like, are you planning on living in Cebu for a year and then trying other places? Like, that makes sense to me. I would have to really love, like, I'm gonna visit other places from here, but I can't see myself for now really straying too much from Tagaytay just because, you know, if there's a place that I'm gonna spend the majority of my time, for me, like, weather is a big factor. If and quiet, like, whenever I'm on, whenever I'm out roaming around the Philippines, then yeah, it's vacation mode, party mode, whatever mode you want to call it. But whenever I get back home, then some days I just want to chill. I don't want to do nothing. I want it to be quiet and comfortable and just be. And I like that. Neil said, Ray, hopefully it's okay to ask this, but when you moved permanently to the Philippines, how much did you bring with you? I was thinking maybe 2 full size check bags. Too much or not enough? Um, yeah. Here is what I would do, Neil, if you're planning on moving to the Philippines permanently. And this is pretty much what I did. Like, I had 2 check bags and a carry on, and I might have had 3 or 4 outfits that I liked, shirts that I liked, or my hat, or some shoes, just kind of the bare minimum. And then the rest of my suitcases was packed with different foods and chocolate and um, kidney beans, made red beans and rice. And you, you'll do some research, and I'll probably do a video about like some of the things that I miss here, and pack those things. Pack tools. I packed my tool bag. Maybe let me put this. Let me show you my. But we'll do a. Let's see if we can show my tools. But you'll find over here that, like, quality tools is not something, and I need to clean these, but you can't really find like really quality tools in the Philippines. So, I got my Knipex needle nose and like my Knipex pliers wrench, my little Klein It's a thermostat. My trade was HVAC, but my Klein screwdriver, Klein stripper cutters, my beater screwdriver. This is a Japanese brand that, like, I really like this screwdriver, and I've got like different bit sets that'll go in it, but I like this screwdriver because like it's real comfortable. You put it right here, and then like it's ratcheting, and you can just screw it like that. Anyway, so screwdriver and like Klein, uh, box cutter, and then this one also, it's got like a little screwdriver attachment. And I probably showed enough of my tools, but I brought and I got my my meters, and and I love these guys. I got to show these off. These are my little mini pliers wrench, and this thing is awesome. Like if you don't have a pliers wrench, you need to get one. It's if you use a crescent wrench to adjust and get on, don't do that anymore. You got something better. Like these, you set the size, and then let's see if I can, let me get this where it stopped following me so I can get it close. But they kind of open up a little bit so you can get on a nut and turn it, and then just open it, turn, regrip, and do a screw without having to take a crescent wrench and take it off and then move it. So much better. These are so much better. And so I'm gonna stop talking about tools and get back to the chat. But I would definitely say when you come to bring some good tools with you, tools that you're going to use, and and maybe it's just me. I'm like a tool snob, but if I'm going to work on something, I want a good tool to work on it with. Let's see. Where was I at? So yeah, Neil. Like I said, I would if I was moving here permanently. If I did it again, I might not pack any clothes at all. Like clothes are cheap over here. You can find clothes, and maybe underwear. I would bring underwear. Like sometimes it's hard for me to find underwear that I like over here, and they're either too tight or I don't know. So bring underwear and tools and food. Stoneheart says, "Hi, handsome boy." No, hi, Stoneheart. Gary Walker, no protection for sure, but damn was he talented? Yeah, like it's good genes. Like all the Manning boys, even Cooper Manning. Like Cooper Manning was probably a better quarterback than both Peyton and Eli. But the thing is, Cooper got hurt, and anyway, and then now Arch is coming up, and I'm sure that he'll be successful. The Mannings just have a good work ethic. Leonard Leverato, Niners baby. I got nothing bad to say about the Niners now. Like when back in the day when the Saints and the Niners were both in the NFC West, I could be a hater, but now they're, you know, wish them all the best unless they're playing the Saints. Dave said, I just had a low country today. I just had a low country today. I don't know what that means, Dave. Like, for me, low country means South Carolina. Like, when I lived in Charleston, South Carolina, like that area of South Carolina was called low country. Ford says, Neil, if you're staying for good, don't fly with much stuff, but do take advantage of the bollock buy-in shipping. Yeah. If you don't know what bollock buy-in is, its original purpose is for like Filipinos that are working overseas to send stuff back to the Philippines. And you get with one of these shipping companies, and the goods that you shipped are shipped on a ship. You know, and it takes a long time for you to get what you ship, but it's a lot cheaper. And what you'll do is you go to the shipping centers will send you whatever box that you ask for, and you can pack that box full, because they don't charge by weight. It's by the size of the box. Like, don't be mean to these guys. Don't just, pack a box full of lead because these guys have to carry it because they'll deliver it, to your door when it gets here. But yeah, you pack it full, make sure that it's taped up real good and where it's not going to bust open, and it's a lot cheaper way to ship. And if you have a question on where you can, find a shipping company near you to send bollock buy-in or in your area, like if you can't Google it and find some place that sends bollock buy-in near you, find like an Asian grocery or something like that, because pretty much 9 times out of 10 there's going to be a Filipino working there, or go. I was going to make a joke, say go to the hospital and find a nurse. You're going to find it and ask them. It's like, hey, how do you? Because if they're in the U.S. and they're Filipino, wherever they're living, they know how to send bollock buy-in back. And so ask a Filipino. They know. But yeah, way cheaper. Neil said, poor Archie can barely walk these days. He's a great man and the nicest guy you'll ever meet in your life. Yeah, I met him when I got the autograph. Unfortunately, he has some serious trouble walking now because of that lack of protection. Yeah, and I feel bad for like older NFL players. I mean, when you talk about a career, like someone that has a job and their career, say a running back, is pretty much over by the age of 30 because they can't physically do it anymore. They start declining. Like, that's rough. Like, that's a rough job. And I don't disparage NFL players for making as much money as they possibly can. It's like, they're getting paid to have their bodies beat up. Like, that's worth some money. I don't care what anybody says. For my entertainment, they're getting themselves beat up for my entertainment. Like, they deserve every dollar they can get. Ford said, I miss crawfish here. Yeah, I do too. Like, shrimp's not the same. It's, to me, shrimp is like the vanilla of seafoods. It doesn't really have any flavor on its own. You gotta do something to it. I mean, I know flavor crawfish in a bowl, but like crawfish has you're enhancing the flavor of crawfish. Like, when you season crawfish, you're enhancing its flavor. With shrimp, for me, you're giving it flavor. Like, it don't have any flavor to begin with. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Ford, thank you for that advice. Haven't even visited there yet, but it's my goal. Yeah, I encourage you, Neil. Like, you know, make a plan, and you won't regret putting that plan into action. Gary Walker says artichoke. What you talking about, Willis? Oh yeah, you put artichoke. I mean, artichoke's good in crawfish boil. Like it. You get that flavor in there, and eat the artichoke leaves. Yeah, you put it. I like if you're not from Louisiana, we'll put anything in there. Like lemons, oranges. You know, uh, like I said, you know I like artichoke. I definitely like mushroom. I love mushrooms in the crawfish boil. I mean, that's good stuff. Cool your day. Say, yeah, but I just replaced it with crab and lobster. I mean, lobster's good, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's always seemed fancy to me. But I love crab legs. Like I've always said that crab legs are my favorite work food. What I mean by work is like food you have to work for to eat. Crawfish is number two. Like if it was for flavor alone, crawfish would be number one. But the fact that with crab legs, like you get more reward for your work. It edges out crawfish for me. Like I can get I can it it's a lot easier for me to get full eating crab legs. You know, get my rhythm going and cracking suck. But uh, Carlin's is laughing. I can't tell what that emoji is if that's laughing at me. Dave said, good chat, y'all. Bye. Good. Take care. Man, I appreciate you stopping by, Dave. Hope to see you again. Ford, I seriously doubt we'll end up number 32 as sports talking heads are predicted. Yeah, I mean, they're never right. They're never right. I mean, Washington was supposed to be bad last year, but and I'm not saying that, but there's always surprises, and nobody knows how a season. If we have the same kind of injury season last year or this year as we had last year, I wouldn't doubt we'd end up 32nd. I mean, you can't control things like that, but I'm hoping for the best. Ford says 67. Okay, yeah, they started in 67. Yeah, for some reason I don't know why I was thinking 69. Maybe I just wanted them to be born the same time I was. Leonard says, my Filipino wife and I will be retiring in Tagaytay there within the next 12 to 18 months. Hope to meet you there. Absolutely, Leonard. Like, I'm just yesterday I was reaching out like I would suggest, Leonard, if you're not already, like start looking on Facebook for, like expat groups in Tagaytay. There's Facebook groups for that, and start meeting some people, making some connections, and you know maybe it'll give you a time to see someone maybe you click with their personality or not. Because some people, I love all people, but I don't click with all people. So you find people that you vibe with and enjoy hanging out with. That way you know when you land here, then you're already to start partying it up, going to cookouts and living the good life. Gary said, so Tagaytay was a conscious choice after Nolans. There's been enough time, right? Eh? And actually, I wasn't in Nolans. I was in Shreveport, which is like if you know how Louisiana looks like a boot, like Shreveport would be the back part of the boot that you pull on to pull your boot on, like the very back right, which sucked being a Saints fan there. When I was younger, Like when I was in high school and, living in Louisiana, we were in Dallas's television market. So if the Cowboys and the Saints played at the same time, I'd have to watch the suck ass Cowboys, or well, I wouldn't watch them. I'd listen to the Saints on the radio, like I was living in the 40s. I'm sitting there with my radio listening to the game, and because I couldn't watch them on TV, and that's why I hated the Cowboys then. I've softened since then, but left a bad feeling in my mouth. I'm in Louisiana. I can't watch the Saints play. Neil says I have a similar tool bag. Oh yeah, this is the Vito, and I I kept this one because it was the bigger one. I actually liked my smaller Vito bag. It was like, I think it was called like the LC something, but it was like this bag, only like in a smaller form, that had a flap that would cover up, to keep moisture out and all that. And I really love that bag, but I wanted to bring as many tools as I could in a tool bag, and it was tough, like getting under the 50-pound weight. But I'm glad I have my tools with me. For appliance repair, yeah. I've done that too, with refrigerators and what other appliances do we work? We worked on, some stoves. We did hot, cold, and HVAC, and then, I worked commercially, with, servicing restaurants, walk-in freezers, walk-in coolers, grills, stuff like that in restaurants. I've done supermarket refrigeration, like the big systems on the roofs of, supermarkets, and that's a whole different animal. And I got where I just couldn't physically do that anymore. I couldn't climb up onto roofs, and I couldn't, like, anyway. Gary says, first, the other extreme of what to bring, Neil, close to what I did. Have your onward ticket, passport, and a day good smiling heart. And a day good smiling heart. I don't know what day good smiling heart means. But yeah. And I'll have to do a video about that. But I did mention it I did a video whenever I was, planning to come back to the U.S. You guys should watch that. It's, I think it's called something like Bringing American Snacks Back to the Philippines. And it shows like me packing, all the stuff that I brought back on my last trip from the Philippines, and talking about, what to do when you're coming to the Philippines, doing your e-travel, I want to say it's, is it 48 hours or 7? I think it's 72 hours. It's like within 72 hours of coming to the Philippines, no sooner or later, like no sooner than that. You can't do it any further ahead than 72 hours. But you have to fill out your e-travel to come. And, I said, book an onward ticket. It's a throwaway ticket. It's $18. You're not going to use it. And you can, book a flight from like the Philippines to Hong Kong or South Korea or anywhere else. But it's going to be like $18, and you're not going to use that ticket. But, they may ask you for, basically proof you're going to leave the country again, even though you're not. And they know you're not, but you got to follow the rules. Wait. Amazon works well here, and no tariffs on U.S. goods now. Yeah, no, I've used Amazon for a lot of stuff. you know, one thing I can't find Amazon shipping to the Philippines is any kind of food item. So, you know, I found cornmeal on Lazada because I wanted to make some hot water cornbread, and so I got some cornmeal off of Lazada. I haven't tried it yet, but yeah, you know, uh, there's things that I haven't looked lately. You said there's no tariffs now. Like there was items that were free shipping to the Philippines. Like if you spent over $50, or you could like bundle items that were free shipping to the Philippines together. Um, but then I found like, you know, stuff like electronics. Like there was, you know, import fees on stuff like electronics. And oh, so that's another thing that you know, when you come over here, when you move for good, like anything that you can think of for electronics, like I would make sure to buy um, or upgrade, you know, to a newest phone, an unlocked phone, um, and you know, a laptop or stuff like that. It's going to be cheaper in the U.S. I've heard Cooper was the best athlete by far, so many times. Yeah, that's definitely what I heard too. Neil said no, Cooper wasn't as good of a quarterback as his brothers. I'm a contemporary of theirs. He was a receiver for a reason, but he was a great athlete, great basketball player. Well, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But um, I know that you know, he would have been a super successful athlete if he didn't get injured. Bollock buying is super cheap. Ford says Bollock buying is super cheap, very slow, takes 2 months. Yeah, like it can, you know, it it depends on factors that are beyond your control. How long it takes, you know, to get there. Even, you know, when it gets to the Philippines, depending on where you are in the Philippines, because it'll come into Manila and then, you know, they've got to sort, and depending on, I guess, how frisky they're feeling that day, whether they're sorting fast or like, it may take a while, but you're going to get your stuff and it'll be cheaper. Like you don't want to send something that you got to have right away. Um, I got a Neil, and my source did say athlete, spinal issue, right, Neil? Yes, he had a congenital cervical spine neuron, which caused his right arm numbness. Peyton developed later in his career, hence why he wore gloves in Denver. Okay. Um, Ford says DHL does Bollock buy and shipping. They sell the boxes too. Yeah, there's a lot of different companies that you know will offer Bollock buy and shipping. Neil said, "Sorry, Ford. My comment about the QB thing was directed towards Ray's comment about him being a great quarterback. You were 100% correct in your comment." Uh, okay, yeah, I was mistaken. I guess I got it confused in my head about, you know, what I meant was he was considered to be a better athlete than his brothers. Uh, Bill Meyer says, "Okay, stop by." Hey, Bill, glad you made it. Neil said, "My bad. I meant Gary, not Ford. Sorry about that." JB, JB says, "Hey Ray, hey JB," and I think I am caught up with chat. I don't know, my phone here is circling, so let me close this one out. Let's see if I can. Um, Give me just a second. I'm talk to you guys, but I'm gonna close my YouTube out on my other account and restart it because it was. I don't know what's going on with this thing. It doesn't seem like it's wanting to connect. I don't know if I'm having Wi-Fi issues. Am I Am I still streaming on here? Let's see if you guys are still there. I don't know if I'm still streaming or not. Like, I can see the motion on here, but I don't know. I stopped getting comments. Stop. Okay, there's a connection problem. Let me try to reset. You guys still see me? I'm not seeing any comments, so you guys let me know if I'm. No, I think something's going on with my stream. Okay, there we go. I think I can see myself again. All good. Okay. Jacob says hi. Hope you're having a good night. Well, Jacob, it is about 2 p.m. So definitely not nighttime here. And I'll stay and chat with you guys as long as you want. And then Gary Walker says you're on. Yeah. I don't know. Did I ever cut out at any point? Because I think it might have just been like the connection on my other phone dropped out. JB says it's still raining there. You've been for your walk? Yeah, JB. I went for a walk a little bit earlier, and let's while we're talking about it, let's go ahead. Let's go to the window. Let's go to the window and show you what it's like. It's not raining right now. It's 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 kind of cloudy. You can see it's threatening to do something, but it's not raining right now. But yeah, I went out there earlier and did some walking, and I move this tool bag out of my way before I trip on it. I did some walking, and I was doing some recording and talking about some stuff. And oh, come back over here. What are you doing? Come over here. This way. There we go. My little robot buddy is acting weird. But did some walking and was talking about stuff, and and realized that I was filming. It was kind of windy down there, and I realized that I had forgot to put on my wireless mic, so I was just recording with the phone microphone, and that whole recording, like you could hear the wind blow. It wasn't really good footage because I was trying to get some footage to put in another video, but it didn't turn out too well. So I don't know if I'm going to use that footage or not. If I can like clean up the audio and editing, like we'll see. I'll give it a shot. Jacob says, "Oh wow, I'm from South Texas. It's 1 a.m. here." And then, what a view are those apartments? It's condos. I live in a condo. Was there four? One, two. There's either 4 or 5 condos like right here, and then I want to say there's like 3 of the smaller condos like right across. And what part of South Texas you from? I lived in Brownsville I lived in South Padre, lived in Brownsville, lived in like all down in that area. And so anyway, South Texas. I'm familiar. Gary says, not really, but your comments are coming up out of order, I think, on your end, but it makes it interesting. Yeah, I don't know, because, when I'm streaming horizontally, like the comments don't come up on the screen. Well, they come up, but then disappear. When I'm streaming vertically, then the comments, stay on the screen, and I can see them, moving. But it's hard for me to comment. So I use my other phone, streaming the live stream to see the comments as they come up and interact with them. JB, how long are you staying in the Philippines? Well, JB, uh, unless someone, a close family member dies, there's no plans for me to go back to the U.S. Like I'll go back, for a funeral, and that's about it. Like it, you know, if if you're related to me and you live in the U.S., you really wanna see me, well, you should make a trip to the Philippines. You know, see something new. I've already seen the U.S. I know what's there. You want to visit me? Come visit me in a place that you haven't seen. Jacob says, "Wow, was raised a little in Brownsville, grew up in San Benito, and now in Harlan." Oh, you live in Harlingen? Yeah, I worked in Harlingen. In fact, and that was where the VA medical hospital is there in Harlingen, and that's where I always went, for any of my VA appointments. And I worked, like I said, I worked in Harlingen when I started to get where I couldn't really do AC work, because I actually had my own AC company down in Brownsville called More Air, and I still get requests from that. But I worked for different air conditioning companies down in that area, and I also worked for an apartment complex in Harlingen as like the maintenance supervisor for the property maintenance in that apartment complex. JB said, "Okay, cool, lucky you, enjoy." Yeah, JB. I mean, there's, you know, I am by no means rich, and I get a manageable amount every month that's guaranteed. So there is no reason for me, you know, to not be able to live here for the rest of my life, and that is definitely my plan. I mean, uh, Carolyn, hey Carolyn, with some kind of weird emoji. I have no idea what it is. Some weird emoji. Carlin's my girlfriend. Is and she's supposed to be sleeping because she's got to work tonight, all night until the morning. So she needs to stop watching the live stream, and what she can leave the live stream running, turn the volume off, and then go to sleep. Just let it run until I finish. I don't mind the watch hours, however I can get them. And that was kind of the reason why I started doing uh, this live stream was, you know, the first level for YouTube is 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. Well, I got 500 subscribers now, and so I'm trying to do what I can, to get my watch hours up. I was hoping that my last video was going to, you know, do as well as the video before that, because that video did really well. And it started out, my last video, I have no idea how the whole YouTube algorithm thing works, But over the first 24 hours, like it was performing better than the how my video before that started. But then the video before that, like it just like boosted up, and YouTube was putting it out there, recommending it, or like putting it in front of people, and so people would see it. And they didn't do it on this last video. Like they pushed it to a certain point and then said, okay, if you haven't seen it by now, you're not going to see it. So, but it's still, the last video still performed better than all my videos except for my previous one. JB says, hopefully see you there one day. Man, JB, that'd be cool with me. I'll be happy to hang out with you and have a coffee, have a beer, have whatever kind of beverage you feel like having that day, and we'll talk. We'll tell some lies to each other and have a good time. Jacob Garza said, that's crazy. I live in some apartments here, and my AC went out last night. That's when I ran into your stream and subscribed. They barely fixed our AC today. Yeah, I mean it's hard to get a good qualified air conditioner guy in an apartment complex because they don't pay the same. Like if you're a capable AC technician, then you can make a lot more money than even as a supervisor than working in an apartment complex. The only reason I was doing it was because, like I said, I couldn't physically like do what it takes to work full-time air conditioning. I mean, it can be hard on you. It's a young man's game for sure. JB, is Carlin your actual girlfriend? Not sure if you're joking. No, she's my actual girlfriend. And we were long distance for about it was almost a year before I came over for the first time, and I came into Manila, and then we went down to her province. I met her. Like if you watch some of my early videos, like where they're filmed vertically, and it's like black on the sides because it's vertical video. Before I was, trying to seriously make YouTube videos, just posting something. Those were taken down in the province in Oriental Mindoro. It's Anilao area of Oriental Mindoro, and went down there, and that whole first trip here, I was sweating, miserable. I got back to the States. I'm like, well, let me do some research, and found someplace cooler to actually move for good. And that's how I came across Tagaytay. I was researching Baguio and Tagaytay. Baguio seemed like it was going to be a little more congested, crowded, touristy, and I chose Tagaytay, and I don't regret it. So that's a long answer to your question. Give you a little of my backstory. I think I'm caught up with comments. What am I going to talk about now? Oh, wait. Comments. Wait. Comments coming in. Carlin is making some kind of face. I don't know. I got my glasses on, but it's an emoji. Hey, everyone. Hey, James and/or Karen. Or if Karen's watching over your shoulder, hey, James. If Karen's watching, whoever it is, hey, I tried to watch your guys, and I shouted you out earlier, I believe, and I'll do it again. Like if any of you guys have not watched James and Karen Adventures, like you need to check out their channel. Like super great people, and I'm glad to know them. And I tried to watch their live stream earlier. There was some connection issues, and like I feel for that. I had connection issues too. Let's see. JB says, "Yeah, Baguio's too far. Tagaytay is more accessible." Yeah, I don't know if they're. I'm gonna swallow that gum. I'm gonna stop chewing gum because that's kind of rude. Talking to people chewing gum. Uh, but I don't know, like, convenience wise to Manila. I don't think that there's a lot of difference in travel time between them, other than traffic. I think the traffic probably coming from Baguio probably be heavier going to Manila. But anyway, boo boo. Yeah, what you doing on juicy fruit? No, it's I think it's, I don't know, some kind of minty gum. You know, I like I like to have something kind of minty because if I'm talking for a long time, my mouth gets dry and I don't like it. Hey J and K, hey James and Karen again. Love me some James and Karen. Ford says I'm out for now. Cheers, guys. What do you mean? You can't go out on a cheers, Ford. You got to go out on a hoot at. What's wrong with you? JB says, hey to Lynn. Our Starlink have problems. We tried twice. Yeah, I mean that's tough. I mean, you can't do anything about the weather. Uh, I've been lucky today that it hasn't been raining, and I actually got to be outside for a little while. Uh, Gary says later Ford. Hello JB. Enjoy your day. Gary says, when you run out of comments, default to cooking Creole dishes or sports, maybe. Okay, sounds good. Tagaytay is closer, Ray. You still quit your smoking? Yeah, I mean I haven't smoked since I quit again this time, and that's also part of what the whole gum thing is about. And don't judge me, but I still have to have my vape occasionally to get my nicotine up to an acceptable level. Like if you read about, like, if you Google like effects of nicotine, like just nicotine on its by its own without everything you get from cigarettes, to me nicotine is like the greatest drug in the world. And yeah, it's addictive. That's beyond dispute, but I don't mind being addicted to it because if you look at the effects of nicotine is it makes you calm and alert. And if there's two things that I would like to be at all times, it's calm and alert. So, I view it as, some people are taking, I can't even think of some of the mood stabilizing drugs out there, Lexapro, or I don't know, the antidepressant or mood stabilizing drugs. Like nicotine is my mood stabilizing drug. It just makes me relaxed and you know more alert, and so I love nicotine. I don't mind being addicted. I just don't want to burn a plant and inhale the smoke to get the nicotine, because that's not good for your lungs. JB said, that's good, Ray. If you get the urge to smoke, just do a live stream again. Well, yeah, it helped. Uh, uh, JB said, yes, nicotine does have its good benefits. Yeah, no, and I mean, larger doses of nicotine, which is normally larger than anybody, that has addiction, smoking or whatever, can have effects on the heart. But, more low doses of nicotine, like the health uh, downside for nicotine isn't as bad as most of the other drugs that people are using for like mood stabilization. That's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor. Maybe a doctor feel good, but Jacob says I like turtles. Yeah, that was a funny video where there was if you haven't seen that video, search I like turtles on YouTube and you'll find it. It was a news broadcast, and there was a little kid. I think if I remember right, he had like face paint where he was like a skeleton or a zombie or something. And the news lady asked him a question, and he just said, "I like turtles." And that was, he was, but it was, it was kind of creepy and cool and funny all at the same time. And I think oh, look who's here. It's Michael. Another channel to shout out. If you look up Something Simple 2 on YouTube, then you'll find Michael's channel. He's a great guy. He's a youngin' like me as far as being in the YouTube world. And, I highly recommend checking him out and hanging out with him. Even if it means leaving my channel to do it, because, he's a great guy and he's definitely worth getting to know. And Gary said, "I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV." That was from I'm not a doctor, but I play one. I'm trying to think where that line's from. I'm normally pretty good at stuff like that, like that instant recall of useless information. Gary says, "Hey to Michael." Michael says, "Hey to Gary." I say, "Hey to both of y'all." But yeah, the hate turtle. But I think it changes. My favorite viral videos of all time. The one that always makes me laugh just thinking about it is, there's like a small black bear, and this little girl says, "Can I pet that dog?" And it makes me laugh every time. "Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog?" But anyway, if you haven't seen, search for "Can I pet that dog?" Because like that, I've watched that I don't know how many times. If I ever need a laugh, I'll go back and watch that video. But that's one of my favorite viral videos of all time. Let's see. Michael said, "Stop for some coffee while out doing my daily walking, dodging heavy downpours as best I can." Oh, that sucks that it's raining there. Yeah, I was just telling Gary and JB and them. I was, it was first. I mean, I don't know if you can hear that my screen window, sliding window rattling with the wind, but it's windy. But there was no rain today, so I got out there to do some walking, and I said, "Well, I'm going to bring my camera with me, and talk a little bit while I'm walking." And I'm an idiot. Yeah, I mean, y'all already knew I was an idiot, but I'm an idiot because I didn't put on my wireless mic, and especially not, my wind muff for my wireless mic. And I was just using the camera mic while recording, and the wind's going. And yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to use any of that footage, if I'm going to be able to clean it up in editing or anything to make it usable. But Michael says not raining now. For now, yeah, it could change at any moment. Yesterday was fairly nice most of the day. That's awesome. Like it wasn't nice here. Today's been the nicest day we've had for a while. And it's never really been like a super heavy downpour kind of day, but just, you know, drizzly or a steady rain pretty much all day. Gary Walker, yeah, Bacolod, city of rainy smiles lately. Yeah. Yes, Gary, haha. The sun turns my frown upside down. Yeah, it's makes your smile look like an umbrella when you got to have an umbrella up, it's curved like that. It's but like I said, and I guess I'll go back and show. Oh, this thing wasn't following me. Here we go. I'm gonna go back to the window again, since there's some people here that wasn't here earlier to see what it's like. We got some gunmetal gray skies. It's overcast and looked like it could rain at any minute. See some. I don't know if I can zoom. How do I zoom in with? I don't know. I'm not gonna attempt it, but yeah, it's. I don't know if you can see the trees swaying. It's a little bit windy today, but it's nice for how the weather has been. And come on, robot buddy, find me. There I am. Good job. Good job. You're doing a hell of a job there. I'm gonna have to give my robot buddy a name. I don't know what it. Maybe that's. I'll have a poll. Maybe I'll put it in my community tab on YouTube. What to name my robot gimbal buddy guy. I talk to him all the time. Gary Walker said, just FYI today, Bacolod is the city of smiles. What's Tagaytay? I don't know if Tagaytay has a nickname or not. City with the volcano view, I guess. I don't know. It's but yeah, I knew Bacolod was city of smiles. Like I watched an obscene amount of YouTube content about the Philippines. Just, I can't imagine how many hours over the last has it been more than 2 years since I've been, but at least the past 2 years, how much content that I've watched about the Philippines is just crazy. Jacob, any flooding in the Philippines been bad in Texas and other parts of the U.S.? Oh yeah, there's flooding in lots of places at the Philippines. That's definitely something I'm blessed to not have to deal with because, mountain, water flows downhill, so not a lot of flooding when you live on a mountain. Might get a puddle here and there, but that's about it. But I've definitely seen flooding, like my Lynn was showing me the other day about like video from her province, where if you've watched some of my older videos where you see like where I'm walking around, that whole area was waist deep. So the cold city, well, that's not really cold. I have heard most flooding in Manila and surrounding areas, according to some locals here in Bacolod. Oh, okay, so no flooding really in Bacolod. Bacolod. I think it's Bacolod. It's like bacaw lead, like a lead in a pencil, lead, bacaw. I have a thing about pronunciation. I like to uh, pronounce things correctly. It stems when I was a kid. I used to read a lot as a kid, uh, like a lot. I didn't have friends. I wasn't as cool as I am now when I was a kid. Didn't, and learning to meet new people because I was always moving as a Navy brat. Helped me develop skills for being more outgoing and meeting people, talking to people I don't know because I kind of always had to. But uh, back to my original point, when I was a kid, I read a lot, and what was it that I was so embarrassed. Oh, uh, facade. Like a building facade, FACADA or FACADE. Um, I was I was talking about something and thought I was being, brilliant, and said facade is the building facade, and they're like, what? And so that embarrassing moment, I guess, left an impact on my young self, and ever since then, I've definitely been conscious of, you know, pronunciation, enunciating, all of those things as far as, speaking, just to, prevent further embarrassments. Uh, the Bulalo Soup City. Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure Tagaytay is definitely the Bulalo capital of the Philippines. There's Bulalo everywhere, and it's delicious. It's one of the few Filipino foods that I really really enjoy. I really really like Bulalo. A friend of mine lives in province near Manila. She said she's had some issues from the rain flooding. Yeah, I'm sure. Like Manila always, has trouble during typhoon rainy season. It's like New Orleans in a lot of ways. It's like right there, the Bay of Manila, and it's you know uh, JB said cold compared to Manila Philippine standards. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a lot cooler, but I've and I mean how Filipinos are. Like I'll see I'll see people walking around with at least a light jacket on, and I mean this is my normal attire. I'm never in anything other than short sleeve shirt and t-shirt and shorts. Like the last time I went to the U.S., uh, I had packed. I want to say I had packed pretty much every pair of blue jeans that I had brought here, and whenever I packed to come back, the blue jeans didn't come back with me because I'm like I never wear these, and you know if I don't pack these blue jeans, I can fit some more food. I'll use that. Cavite, Marikina, usual places. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I could see Cavite, areas of Cavite because that's the province I'm in, but the low areas of Cavite, that's like I said, I'm on a mountain and water flows downhill, so that water's got to go somewhere, and the the places in Cavite that are like in the valley by the lake, like the Tall Lake. Like I'm sure they've gotten some flooding. Uh, Praying for everyone. I hear you, Mike. I'm like you know, I don't want anybody to be uh, affected. I know that that's not possible, but you know, my heart goes out to anybody that's going through any trials and tribulations because of you know the rain and flooding and let's see, always same places. People just used to it. Yeah, I mean you adapt to any place that that you are, um, unless you have a choice, which is my case. I had a choice. I wasn't about to try and adapt to living somewhere where I'd be hot and sweaty because I just can't do that. Uh, Gary says AI says Tagaytay's slogan is second summer capital of the Philippines, which is Baguio. Yeah, is the summer capital. It says someone needs fired if true, aka the city of character, better at least, also known as the city of character. Well, I'm definitely a character. I don't know. I've met some characters, but I don't think I've met any characters as charactery as I am. Michael said, that's one thing I didn't bring jeans or pants of any sort. Yeah, I don't. And, you know, Michael, I don't miss them. I don't miss wearing pants. Like, I don't like wearing pants in general. I don't even like wearing shorts. If, if, if I wouldn't cause a scene by walking around outside in my underwear every day, I'd do that. I don't care. But yeah, if I'm in the condo, unless I'm doing a live stream for you guys, yeah, I'm in my underwear most of the day. Like I'll like that's the kind of life I like. You know, sitting there watching TV in your underwear with Cheeto dust on your chest. That's the life. Let's see. JB says, correct, Gary. They call it summer capital because people escape the city to Tagaytay, to vacation and weekend escape. Yeah, and I've said that. Like it really is. It's quiet here during the week, but starting around Friday, like today, I've started seeing more people. But to me, it never gets like super busy. You know, I see more people, but like like I've said before, you know, it's welcome to me because you know, it's kind of sleepy during the week, and you know, going out and seeing new faces is you know kind of exciting. It's like, yay, got more people. Michael says one jacket for when I fly to and from U.S. because the planes have they see an overdrive frost mode. Yeah, no, it you know, and when I flew back this last time, it wasn't as cold. But before I do that, uh, I'll see you later, Gary. Like, have a good one. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out as long as you did. But yeah, when I flew back this last time, it wasn't nearly as cold as you know my previous flights to and from the Philippines, and I think it's because like you know once the plane is above a certain altitude that they fly at for these long trips, you know, I mean it's in the higher atmosphere, it's super cold, and you know airplane's metal, it gets cold, and the heat in the airplane can't keep up with, you know, the cooling effect of the atmosphere that the plane is in. That's my theory. And yeah, no, the little bitty tiny thin blanket they give you that doesn't cut it. You know, I put on like two pairs of pants and two socks and like I bundle up, even though I'm gonna might sweat, you know, if I have to get out when I get out in Manila, that's just the way it is because yeah, I can't deal with that freezing on an airplane for long periods of time. Okay. Like I said, God bless you at JB. Thank you. See you later, Gary. See you later, Gary. See you later, Gary. Everybody loves Gary. I love Gary. Jacob says, "Prove it." No, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna strip down to my underwear for you guys. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if I had my way, that's why I've always said that I hated going to the movie theater. And people say, "Well, why you hate going to the movie theater?" I said, well, if the movie theater would let me strip down to my underwear and lay down and watch a movie, then I'd be all for it. But having to sit upright in a seat to watch the movie is like, I get uncomfortable after a while. It's like, I want a pillow. It's like, I want to be in my underwear with a pillow. If they wouldn't kick me out of the movie theater and they let me, spread out with a pillow in my underwear, eating popcorn, yeah, I'd watch movies, big screen. Michael said the camera angle of the live stream could leave something for someone's imagination. Oh yeah, because you can't see my shorts. Well, I am wearing shorts. I think I got up earlier when I was talking about my robot. Oh, I guess it's still keeping me up here. But yeah, I'm wearing shorts. Let's see. Nope. My robot buddy is, well, yeah, I guess. Wait, there we go. See, shorts. Ray getting too comfortable on the live stream. Yeah, no, I like to be comfortable all the time, and like I wouldn't expect, if I was hanging out with you guys, for you guys to dress up for me. It's like, whatever makes you comfortable makes me happy. Like, your happiness is my happiness. Mr. Banana Hammock. Nah, I don't have no banana hammock. That's I don't understand how people wear those kind of underwear that, like, I can't wear. I'm very particular about my underwear. Like, once I found, boxer briefs where, you got like the coverage of boxers, and not quite as tight as, like the tighty whities or bikini type under. Like, I can't wear those little underwears like that. I don't see how people do that. They be chafing. I don't like to be chafing my underwear. I don't know about you guys, but chafing ain't where it's at. Michael said, "You look like you're laying out on a beach somewhere, of course, under an umbrella, sipping on some coffee from your Hello Kitty mug." Yeah, I finished off my Hello Kitty coffee earlier. I believe. Did I start this live stream with my? No, I might be thinking about last night. Michael, you should have been here last night. I needed some moderation. Because, and I don't know if you found this or not, because I believe you stream horizontally like I do. But last night when I was doing, my live stream for getting 500 subscribers, I live streamed vertically, and I had so many more people than I normally do in my chat, and I had all these girls like flirting with me and hitting on me and stuff, and yeah, it was weird. Because, like, if you look at the analytics on my channel, like, the majority of my subscribers are guys that are looking for information about the Philippines from another guy, and I don't mind that at all. Like I can relate. I don't know how I would relate to a bunch of girls watching my channel. Cornstarch helps. Yeah, but you know, you can find solutions, but for any problem. But I've found that the best way to approach life is, instead of finding solutions for a problem, find a way to get rid of the problem. Then you don't have to have a solution for it. If the problem is you got, underwear that digs in and, you know, rubs you in sensitive places where you got to use cornstarch, start wearing different underwear. That's a better solution than using cornstarch. But that's the way I look at life. Like, whatever problem there is, sure, there's a solution for it, but the better way to go is find out a way not to have that problem, where you don't need a solution for that problem. Like, you know, if and I guess you could say that's another reason why I'm here in Tagaytay. Like, if the problem is, being sweaty and, having to have, moisture wicking shirts and shorts and all that, well, if I just live somewhere where I'm not sweaty, then I don't need a solution for being sweaty. Anyway, let's see what somebody said. Somebody said something. You need Lynn to moderate that chat. Yeah, no, I think Lynn was instigating. I actually timed out Lynn. There was some girl saying something about kiss me, and then Lynn got on there and said, yeah, kiss him. And I'm like, you're not helping. Anyway, so I have a moderator thing on, on this account. So if people just get too out there, I can knock them out. Aiza said, Sir Ray, some woman also watching your live or video because you're now in Philippines. More Philippines people are also watch because of algorithm. Your time, Philippine time, especially you're in. Yeah, no, I know, but I think, like I said, you know, uh, a lot of the people, because I was streaming, vertically, you get more viewers because your live stream not only shows up, on the regular, YouTube channel page, but it shows up instead it shows up, like on the shorts feed, and people are scrolling through live streams. And so I was getting, all these women commenting, and made me a little uncomfortable. I mean, I know I'm hot. Come on, look at this. This is beautiful. Aiza said, if you have trolls and crazy people in your live, meaning your channel grows an algorithm. Yeah, no, I don't mind. I don't mind trolls. I love trolls. Like, as long as they're, making fun of me or something like that. If they start attacking, my other viewers, then they got to go. But like, I don't mind, people joking around with me. JB says Lynn was timed out. Yeah, no, I timed her out. I did. She was instigating and, saying all this other stuff, and and I timed her out, and then she joined the live stream again with a different YouTube account. You kind of love Filipinas. So Jacob say, what brand of razor do you use? Very clean shaven. Actually right now I'm not very clean shaven, but I spend a little bit extra because I like the Gillette Fusion that I think they have like 5 blades or something like that. But they do the Gillette Fusion, the blades, they're way more expensive, but yeah, they do a better job for me to me for shaving. And then of course, my lawnmower 2.0. Y'all don't need to know about that. Michael said, "Sorry I missed your stream last night. I was in bed at 8:30 or before. I get up at sunrise, 5:30 to 6 a.m. So I get tired after being up all day, along with exercise. I prefer awake at daytime, sleep at dark." Yeah, no, I get that, and actually, last night was uh, the first time in a while because normally I have trouble sleeping at night. I can have like periods of insomnia where, like, even if I fall asleep, like, and it happened last night. I fell asleep. I don't think I fell asleep till like almost midnight, and then woke up around 1:45, and then took me a little while to get back to sleep. But Stoneheart says, "Hey Ray, hey Stoneheart. Stoneheart's one of the ones that's flirting with me." JB says, "See you on James and Karen's live sometimes, Aiza." Yeah, Aiza, because I mean, JB, Aiza is um, Mama Janet's daughter, right? Like Janet that moderates on James and Karen's channel. So yeah, of course you see her there. Pretty sure I'm right about that. Just lurking. All right, man, Stoneheart. If you like looking at this and you just want to sit there and gaze at me while letting my live stream and giving me more watch hours, I appreciate it. What are you talking about in there? I'm just saying, look, can't touch. Jacob, laugh loud. Stoner 14, you come back. Ray don't want tour guide. Yeah, she was trying to offer to be a tour guide last night. Aiza was helping me out, keeping things um, under control. JB, Ray oozing self confidence. Yeah, I mean it's mostly in jest. It's uh, I like to put on airs and you know sometimes act more confident than I actually am, but it's better to be that way than always be down on yourself. Like, I'm awesome, and I hope you guys think you're awesome too. Jacob said, "Saw the tattoo on your left leg. Any other tats?" Yeah, yeah. Where's it at? Yeah, see that. I got the Filipino sun there, and of course my fleur de lis. Y'all have seen that, and then my. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able. Let me see if I can go down. I've got that's the my initials for my oldest, my firstborn son that died. I've got his initials tattooed over my heart, um, and those are the 3 tattoos that I have. Let's see. Hey JB, yes, I meet soon when I go back to Iloilo. Okay, Jake. Michael's laughing about something. Haha, who doesn't have the lawnmower? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, you gotta do maintenance. Keep it PG, Ray Ray. I didn't even say what the lawnmower was for. You guys know, and that's all that matters. But ain't nothing wrong with ain't nothing wrong with grown men, talking about hygiene and Filipinos like hygiene. I'm gonna say. Sorry for your loss, Ray. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's it. If you've watched my video, I went through a tough time before, getting saved by YouTube content about the Philippines and then by the Philippines. Uh, Jacob, sorry to hear that. Hope he's watching down on you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, I don't wish that on anybody in the world. Like I believe that's the worst heartache you can go through is losing a child, and you know anybody out there that has experienced that loss, like my prayers are definitely with you. JB, hey, yes, like I said, I meant when you were showing your tats, wasn't sure you had some private. No, no, no worries, Michael. No, those are the only three. I don't have any tats you couldn't see at the beach, and you know that's that's kind of that's kind of my go-to level of modesty is you never see more from me than you could see at the beach. Like if I ever do any videos where I'm swimming somewhere or something, I you know that's the level. Boom, boom, boom. JB, your robot friend is uh, given that only fan angles, right? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I got my leg up on the table just because it was comfortable that way. Maybe I need to sit up. You guys are you guys are getting too. I, I don't know. I don't know if the girls last night were worse than you guys or not. See, um, Aiza, thanks for staying on topic, Aiza. Aiza, see, she's the only respectful one in here right now. But no, Aiza, when my first son died, he was 19, and when my second son died, he was 27. Um, so yeah, I lost both of my sons. Um, JB. Jacob, did you have more kids? And do you have a lot of brothers and sisters? Just curious. Um, yeah, like I said, I lost both of my sons, and I have one daughter that lives in Canada. Um, I, you know, I was married to a Canadian woman for 4 years. I always say, she couldn't resist my Southern charm right up until the moment she could, which is apparently my Southern charm has a 4 year shelf life. And but yeah, we had a daughter together, and those are my only kids. Brothers and sisters, uh, I have uh, three brothers that are living, and one sister that's living, and a sister that has passed away. My oldest, my oldest sibling, uh, like, but Ray Ray confidence seems to be growing. I've you're kind of you're you guys right now are kind of seeing me more unfiltered, like uh, probably what you've seen in the last 30 minutes or so is probably closer to my truest personality. Like I don't take a lot of things seriously. I don't take myself seriously. Um, you know, I I try to be a little more you know buttoned up and uh, I don't know. I don't know what the term I'm looking for, but for YouTube, but you know, just hanging out with the guys and friends. Like I'm gonna make a joke. I'm gonna probably gonna make a fool of myself and just don't care because, like I've said before, and you've heard me say it. Like if people around me are happy, I'm happy, and if I can do anything that makes someone else laugh, even if they're laughing at me, like I'm here for it. Um, all right, good. He just said, "OMG." I don't know what you guys were saying. Whenever I watch this, I'm gonna have to watch this video back to see the OnlyFans angle. I don't know what was going on. Michael said this episode should be titled "How Ray Ray Got His Groove Back." What are you talking about, Michael? I ain't never lost my groove. I ain't never lost my groove. I said they're already Big Ray. Me, Ray, I want at least one, if have chance, to Scott never experienced to have kid. I have one daughter, 13, but Scott doesn't have any kids. Well, I hope that all that works out for you guys. Like Scott never experienced to have a child. Yeah. JB says, hoping you have kids. I say, yeah. No, I think that if that's something that both of you guys want, that you know that it all works out, and you know whatever's in God's plan for your lives, I hope it's nothing but joy and happiness and you know longevity. Hope you guys live for. Hope I live forever. Hope we all live forever and just keep hanging out. Well, we're all gonna live forever. Hopefully. Hopefully you guys are gonna live forever. I'm gonna live forever. Uh, and I have caught up with chat. What did I think? Unless my phone's not updating, and so I'm gonna get all you guys to hit that like button before I stop this stream. Get everybody that's still left watching, tap the like button, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Man, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and you know, uh, you're the best. I mean, you really are. You know, anything you ever need from me, if you like, if you haven't found me on Facebook yet, make sure you do that. So I can friend you. You can reach out to me anytime if you need anything, or just want somebody to be goofy with. Like I said, I'm here for it. So. Uh, have a great day. Love what? Hopefully everybody's just saying bye, giving me those final likes, and let y'all finish. Everybody that wants to say something, because all I've got left to say is who dat. I love you all.